Hello, fellow Bereans. Thank you for joining Berean Bible Journeys today. This is a huge video I'm going to present to you here. It's a lot of information. I'm going to take it slow. If you already know some of this and want to put it in fast play mode, that's okay, but just make sure you get to the end so that you see the proof, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you so that you can see the verse map that we're doing is 2 Thessalonians 2 and verse 11. And the name of this is, what is the strong delusion? Right? Okay, so we're going to go to the next slide. And I've got this written out for you, and you've heard this verse. And for this cause, God shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe the lie. Okay. When I woke up this morning, if I had any doubt about doing this, this was one of my first headlines I saw. The UK government, in a new document published Saturday, gave a grave warning about a new strain of COVID-19. And it says, doomsday scenario says 1 in 3 could die. Remember that number, 1 in 3. Hey, that was my confirmation if I needed any. All right, so we're going to do some main parts of this verse. For this cause, let's talk about that. God shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe the lie. Okay. If you have not done verse mapping here with me before, I am going through the Bible Hub app. That's how we do that. We find the scripture and go to the original language of each word to get a deeper meaning of the verse. You can go to my blog at BereanBibleJourneys.com to download a free verse mapping template if you want to there. And then you could follow that as I do one of my verse mapping videos. And I will link one of those videos below that teach you how to verse map. Life-changing study habits, just amazing, okay? All right, so and is the first word in this verse, and even also namely, moreover, indeed, it never means however. So we're adding something to this here. And, all right, because of means through or on the account of. That's dia, where we get our word diameter. We're going across to the other side. So because of this, it refers to the subject immediately preceding. Well, what is that subject? And that's going to be part of our context. So our context is the previous verse, and that verse says there at the end, because they did not receive the love of the truth that they might be saved. Because of this, we're going to have this, okay? Because they did not receive the love of the truth, then what's going to happen? Then it says God, that can mean God, or it can mean a God in general, like a little g God. God shall send, look at this word, send, transmit, put forth, or dispatch. He's going to send them or dispatch to them this strong, working, productive power in action. In the New Testament, used only a superhuman power. All right, strong delusion. Delusion, just what you think, a wondering, a deceit, a delusion, error, sin, a departure from what God says is true. That they, who's they, we're talking that, indicating the point reached or entered of time, place, purpose, or result. The end by which a thing is adapted to attain. So we're going to get this strong delusion sent so that we're getting to an end point here. That they believe, have faith in, trust in, and are persuaded in and place confidence in the lie. The falsehood, the untruth, lie, false religion. In a broad sense, whatever is not what it professes to be. It's from pseudomai, an attempt to deceive by falsehood. Okay, so if we put that all together and smush it all together into a new expanded version of this verse, we would have And namely, and keep this in all in your brain as we're going here, and namely, because of, on account of this, because they did not receive the love of the truth that they might be saved, God, or a little g God, shall send, transmit, put forth, and dispatch to them strong, working, productive, superhuman delusion, wandering, deceit, error, sin, departing from what God says is true. That, indicating the point reached or attained, that they believe, have faith in, trust in, be persuaded, and place confidence in. I'm sorry, why did my self get so huge? In the lie, the untruth, the deception by falsehood, not what it professes to be. So these people, this lie is going to cause people to place confidence in it through delusion. All right, in the book of Revelation, go away. Is the book of Revelation literal or figurative? And this is something that we've talked about on here. There is, of course, a spiritual aspect to this verse that is playing out as well. As in, there is strong delusion that is perverting scripture and twisting the words of God into something almost but not quite the truth. Scripture speaks of the Antichrist, which you have heard was coming and is now already in the world. So this is an ongoing thing that was written when Jesus or Yeshua was on the earth, that he was already here, or it was already here. And in my other videos, we've talked about the age-old question: is Revelation going to be fulfilled spiritually, like figuratively, or physically, like literally this is going to happen? And it seems to be becoming clearer that it is going to be both. So in this video, we are going to look at the physical, earthly aspect of the strong delusion that is being played out in our daily news. And be sure you watch until the end to see the proof. Okay. What is the strong delusion? We talked about the mark in this verse being literal and figurative. We've talked about the image of the beast in this, the image of the beast here, and in this one about the giant. We've talked about the beast being literal and figurative. We've talked about the Antichrist being a spirit and also a system in this video right here, the beast system, the mark. So it seems to be both literal and figurative, and this particular video is concerning the literal fulfillment of a part of Revelation through that strong delusion. So it is my feeling that the strong delusion will come or is coming through your screens, the television, movies, phones, iPads, smartphones, smart TVs, etc. You may have heard that the man who invented the television refused to let his children near it. He must have had a vision about it. It has been nicknamed the tube, the idiot box, the guest that everyone hushes and listens intently to, and no one is allowed to interrupt. That's the guest, silent guest in your home. The television, if you break the word down, it plainly tells you that it tells a vision, right? It has a program that you need to consult. And it has channels that you flip through, right? And as we will see, it is a mind-altering tool, programming that channels things into your home and into your life. It tells a vision, okay? As I said in this video, we're going to look at the physical, earthly aspect of the strong delusion that is being played out in our daily news. And I mean literally in our daily news. I'm going to give you an idea of why I believe the strong delusion is being transmitted as we speak. The TVs, the iPads, the iPhones, smartphones, Netflix, the screens, the images are all perpetrating the lie. All right, be sure you watch the video. The Brainwashing of the Masses by James Donahue says, author and producer Stephen Jacobson said, television is the most powerful weapon of psychological warfare in history. The programming that we are constantly assaulted by throughout our lives conditions us. It programs us to a particular worldview. Now, we may consider it normal because we were born into the system of lies and deception. And because we were born into this situation and our parents were born into it and have suffered from it, we really just don't know any better. Like it's just in our blood, it's in our system. And he says down here, all the problems in America are the result of people being led to believe things that are not true. Hmm. So there's a patent that you can look up yourself, and some of these things I'm not going to say out loud. You're just going to have to read my screen. This patent number is a confirmation of the possibility to manipulate the nervous system. The patent includes 14 claims, including how video can be used to manipulate the nervous system. Okay, here it is. If you Google it, there it is. The United States patent. And I don't know. Okay, here's some more information about it. It talks about the human eye lens is sensitive to changes in hue, changes to brightness. Luminescence pulses with fixed chrominance give a change in pixel intensity. Of course, pure chrominance pulses may be combined with pure luminance pulses. An instance of such combination has been mentioned above. So this is them talking in this report about how they discovered how to manipulate your nervous system with the TV. This guy here that has this patent, this inventor, everybody said they've searched everywhere for this guy, and he must be fictitious. Nobody can figure out who that famous guy is. Okay. Science, of course, is an amazing thing created by the creator of all things. It is usurped and twisted by man to declare that there is no divine creator and to use it for evil. Misappropriated studies such as this have led to a patent that allows your nervous system to be manipulated by your screen. And you know that. You can feel that. Okay? It is therefore, this is the conclusion of the study. It is therefore possible to manipulate the nervous system of a subject by pulsing images displayed on a nearby computer, monitor, or TV set. And that's older. That's like 10 years old or something. So you know they've improved it since then. And listen to this section of it. Certain monitors can emit electromagnetic field pulses that excite a sensory resonance in a nearby subject. That's what it says. So down here it says, such application would be unethical and is, of course, not advocated. It is mentioned here in order to alert the public to the possibility of covert abuse that may occur while being online or while watching TV, a video, or a DVD. No one would ever do that, right? Covert abuse. Okay, I just had this moment when I was getting ready to do this. I posted this post to my Facebook in October 7th of 2017, and I said, I hope all of America is beginning to realize that if we don't have the truth, we don't have anything. And that certainly applies in a spiritual aspect as far as your salvation, but also in a literal sense in our world. It was at this point in life that a light bulb came on. This was the news of the day. If you look on the side here, remember this this certain horrible shooting that happened, and then all this stuff came out to cover it up, and nothing made any sense. And wait a minute, why was that over there, and why did that happen at that point, and where were these people? And oh, these eyewitnesses disappeared after the fact, until you just all of a sudden were like, oh my gosh, this is all fake. None of this is true. And this was the moment that many of us sat up and realized that our news was not reporting the news. So to lay the foundation, we're going to go way back. Okay, when did our media and entertainment systems get infiltrated? And one thing we can absolutely point to is called Operation, the name of this bird. Basically, this was a program set up in the 40s to boost morale during the war. It essentially gave the three-letter dude there the authority to influence the news in order to control the people. So that system that runs part of our country, the idea of this bird is that it mocks and copies the songs of other birds. And because of this program today, we are being mocked by our media and our leaders. Our grandparents ended their day with the nightly news, fully trusting that they were up to date and informed, and that is no longer the case. I'm going to show you this video real quick. If you've seen it, you can fast forward past this. This was a few years ago, one of those eye-opening things. Let me go back to my other screen and share it with you. Okay, here we go. Watch this. I won't play all of it because I might get discovered.
It's a website.
Oh no.
Built by
Hang on.
Jonathan Basile that currently offers everything that has been.
I don't want you to have to sit through the commercial. Hang on. Here we go. Sorry about that.
There are Treasure Valley communities, the El Paso, Las Cruces communities,
Just watch
Eastern
for a
Iowa
second.
communities.
Mid-Michigan communities.
We are extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces.
But we are
Fighting our country.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and false news
has become all too common on social media.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use this platform to share.
This was the beginning of stopping the truth by claiming this fact checking stuff.
And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy. This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy. This is extremely dangerous to our democracy. This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our.
Oh, okay. Anyway, I can't stand it. So that all came out within, one weekend of all the news stations touting this lie. We don't have a democracy, number one. We have a constitutional republic. So, hello. All right, let's go back to the presentation. We'll keep going with that. Okay, so this bird operation that I am not going to say the name of, I'll just cover it up with that in my face. This is the Director of Central Intelligence said, we'll know our disinformation program is complete when everything the American public believes is false. And we hear quotes like that and people just dismiss it like, oh, he didn't really mean that. Oh, he really did. That's really what he meant. About a third of the whole little budget there went to media propaganda operations, hundreds of millions of dollars a year just for this program. It's a domestic propaganda, I call it, campaign aimed at promoting the views of the CIA within the media. Okay, it is sorry, uncovered my thing. Beginning in the early years of the Cold War, you can go look this up yourself. I won't belabor the point anymore. There, just go look it up. There were lawsuits in the 70s against this bird operation. They claimed they did away with the operation. They didn't. They just split it up and hid it better. All right. So this operation has been in effect and perfected for years. So now realize, if you haven't already, that your mainstream news is not news. It's a narrative being produced. If you're watching the news, you're watching a movie that the higher ups have created to sway your worldview. They are pre-programming you to accept their ideas. So just like the news, the same thing is happening with all the movies and the shows that are coming out. These are control vehicles. They're sending their ideas and plans into the entertainment industry and have been for years. Think of The Truman Show, The Hunger Games, and they glorify all this stuff like, ooh, this is fun to be in The Hunger Games, right? Contagion was almost verbatim what is happening in our world right now. The Maze Runner, The Handmaid's Tale. Songbird is a fairly new one. And it's a glorified, beautiful love story that takes place while they're on lockdown. And it's just, made to seem so beautiful. The Tomorrow War is a new one. It's just coming out. Just a typical apocalyptic, oh my gosh, the aliens are attacking. It's just funny to me, someone brought out that the aliens in this movie are Sabbath keepers. And if you know me, I wrote this book about the Sabbath day's journey. So in the future, in this war, they're hunting down and killing all of these aliens that keep the Sabbath. That was interesting. All right, a 1943 memo from the Office of Strategic Affairs, a front runner of, declassified in 2004, even though it was written in 1943. It explains the agencies that existed at that time who could work in this effort and the strengths and weaknesses of U.S. knowledge and capability in this area at that time. And they talked about in this memo motion pictures as a weapon of psychological warfare. Motion pictures are an unparalleled instructional medium. They can present new facts concerning important problems on which people are ignorant, on which they ought to be informed. They can clarify complicated problems on which people are confused, right? Or they could send you strong delusion. The motion picture, here we go again. The motion picture is one of the most powerful propaganda weapons at the disposal of the U.S. It can serve in many diversified functions, and boy, has it. All right, we can see that those that are in high places want to control what we think and do, right? If you can't, go back to the beginning of the video and start over. The question is, who is they and what are they pushing? We know that there's one God and he will one day make all things new. Christ will enact the true order in the new Jerusalem. But the Antichrist is a copycat, right? He has been working undercover for thousands of years to bring about his plan, his, that thing that has now been renamed this and this. And who is behind this? Well, so many. Satan is at the helm. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this age, against spiritual hosts of wickedness in the heavenly high places. You've got to let go of the idea that there are these good-hearted people in charge right now, and the idea that they actually care what happens to you and your family. Satan has this network of evildoers doing his bidding, and they have chosen their side, and they are wandering after the beast. We talk about that in the video about the beast system. The beast system is set up, the image is right in front of you, and you are being deceived by strong delusion. So who are these that control all the information? And we know that information is power. These are the trillionaires of the world. And you've heard some of their names. I'm not going to say them because it will get me in trouble. These down here on this row, they have a hierarchy, just like any system, where they are all backing this new idea that they want to bring forth. And all of their scenarios that they create follow this same formula. I forget what it's called something. You cause the problem, and then you fund the reaction, and then you mandate the solution. So they've caused these problems. They're funding the anarchy and the chaos and the riots and everything else that goes along with it. And then they're going to mandate their solution to this. So the love of money is the root of all evil, and these people are rich, and they don't care how rich they are, they just want to get richer, and they would just want to have more power. There's this ruling, I say here, I know people say, oh, he says, but God is in control. Well, he is, but he also said that Satan is the God of this world and the God of the air for now. And he said in 2 Corinthians 4:4, the God of this age has blinded the minds of the unbelieving. He said it right there. He's blinded them. So as for not to be being forth the illumination of the gospel of the glory of Christ, who is the image of God. So they can't see it. They're blind. So there's a top group of this society in every country. And that's why they have these little meetings where they run off to such and such a country and live, high on the hog, as my grandma would say, and discuss all of these things. All right. Just a side note, during last year, 2020, when, probably one of the worst years of a lot of people's life, Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos saw his net worth grow by 13 billion. The Guardian wrote that at the height of the pandemic, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, his net worth ballooned. Zuckerberg's net worth ballooned by about $15 billion in 2020. Did you get any of that? I didn't get any of that. Warren Buffett and Larry Ellison collectively witnessed their already incredible wealth increase by $101.7 billion between March 18th and June 17th. They just got richer off of the chaos that they created. This is they used to call these the Big Six. I think even more of them have consolidated now. But these are the media companies that run the world, that run all of your television and all of your apps and all of your movies and all of your shows and anything that you stick in front of your face. These people are most likely at the helm. Okay, and you can read down there, they own everything. You can look that up too. In 1983, it says 90% of American media was owned by 50 companies. And then in 2011, that same 90% is controlled by 6 companies. And they give you this illusion of choice. Oh my gosh, there's 200 or 300 channels on cable network. I can watch, I can watch so much. Oh my gosh, I can go to Amazon and watch all this. I get to choose what I watch. No, you don't. You're just picking your poison. All right. One nation under control. They tell you what to eat, what to wear, what to think, what to love, and what to fear, as we have seen in the past year. This is a graphic of, this guy's everything he owns. And I can't even zoom in on enough to read it. It's all so tiny. You can look this up too. Just go search. And I thought this was interesting that Walt Disney supposedly worked with the father of, that company, that society, at the time that he made Disney World, to buy the land and develop a state within a state where he could control the overall development of Disney World. So that governmental company helped Walt buy the land for where this theme park sits, this place for kids. And if you've been down the rabbit hole much, you know that it's ugly. Here he is again. This is his secret club that he had. He is a 33rd degree Mason. Here he is in his De Molay uniform. He was trained as a boy on the tenets. You can read this. I'm not going to say it out loud. The Grand Master. Okay. So remember that number. That's his club. That was his club that he had. I guess it's still there at Disneyland. Supposedly Hitler's artwork helped create this Bavarian castle that was the replica for the Cinderella castle. Interesting. So I don't know if you remember this. When I was a young person, this all came out that Disney was sneaking these gross, inappropriate images into their Disney movies for kids. Remember this? And everybody was against. Oh my gosh, are you kidding? Oh, there's some more. And it was subliminal, they had to like draw it in there and make it like sneaky. Well, that didn't go away. They have just gotten better at it. Here's a picture from Donald Duck when the sign in the back of his eye exam sign says, ask about the, you are blind to this, it says. And I covered that up, sorry. But it's the, if you put Mickey upside down, it says wicked. I forget which cartoon that's from, but he has the skulls in his eyes. And these are the girls, Gaston's girls, flipping up the satanic sign. That is not I love you. In sign language, yes. If you're talking to someone else in sign language, then yeah, I guess that means I love you, but it is not in most instances. When you see these people do this, that is the Baphomet symbol. for Satanism. That's Anton LaVey from the Church of Satan. And this guy, I bring him up because he is buddies with this man right here. And I just bring him up just as a point. This guy, he's one of our top NSA intelligence officers in our military, specializing in psychological warfare. He left Mr. LaVey and started his own church of Set. Set is the Greek god of desert, storms, disorder, and violence. And there he is, showing us his artifacts in his home. So nice. Looks like his eyebrows. Like, what is that? He is one of the most notorious perpetrators of child trafficking in modern history. He's been implicated in every major scandal concerning organized da-da-da, da-da-da. All right. And he got off scot-free on all of it. It had to do with children to perform as prostitutes and worse, using military brainwashing techniques, including unethical hypnosis, drugs, and electric shock. And our military approved his church and said that was fine for him to be in that church. And this is him and his little wifey there. Her name's Lilith, which is, you know, a demon. Despite being dogged by repeated allegations of this child abuse, he continued his professional military career without being bothered. Involved in military PSYOP operations. He also qualified as Special Forces officers, the Green Beret, and he worked right up until recently, and just recently stepped down. Look up an old Geraldo Oprah episode where they're interviewing him on BitChute. Amazing. And I just bring this in here because, you know, this just came about yesterday that Converse has thrown this into the mix. And this was the, I don't know if it's the owner or what, but this was his quote about this ad, that aesthetic is all about disrupting formality, embracing traditional structure, and then blowing it up. And it's only the beginning for Converse. So these people are bold. They don't care anymore about hiding it, about being subliminal with it. They don't care. They just want you to know that they are following the beast. Look up this video of mine, the image of the beast, and that will tell you some more about that. All right, one more operation that I want to talk about is this word right here, that thing. They told you about this in one of the Marvel movies. I forget which one it is. I'll try to link it below. This particular operation was when the CIA recruited the top German scientists, those guys. They brought them over here to America after the Holocaust. And they continued their experimentation on the human mind that they had begun over there. One of their biggest projects was this word right here. An M and a K and then that. It was mind manipulation with psychosis drugs and hypnotic repetition. In the movie Zoolander, I haven't seen that, but I looked that up. They are flat out laughing that they know they do this stuff in front of our faces. So here is about this operation. The program aimed to harness those scientists' knowledge. They were promised protection from legal prosecution if they worked for the government. Once they started, the scientists focused on various clandestine experiments, including mind manipulation through technology. In the 1950s, those people, our government people, supported these scientists in conducting this project. The research involved interrogation, mind control, behavior modification, and other related topics. So you can pause that if you want to read the rest of that. So I'm bringing that up. You know, if you haven't heard of what's going on with Miss Spears, this is that program in action. You should look closer at this situation. Maybe you think it doesn't matter. Her life is indicative of the evil that is destroying the world. The media are portraying her as a crazy, spoiled kid. Ever heard of trafficking? She's the poster child. She started with the Mickey Mouse Club when she was, I think, 8 or 10, and trained her for 3 years, groomed her, and then put her into this lifestyle. And she is controlled, as you're seeing come out in the news right now. She is completely controlled by other people because they can't let these stars get out of hand and out from under the system. Another example is Lady Gaga. I'm still sick that she sung at our presidential inauguration. I don't care if it was the whole whatever anyway, fake or whatever, but whatever. She's friends with Blavovich. You can go look them up. Same here with this poor girl. That poor thing. I mean, like, she's toast. You know, she doesn't know the world she's in. Mel Gibson is getting attacked now because he's doing a new movie about this guy here. Remember, he's at the top of the triangle of the elite, and Mel Gibson has decided to make this movie ousting all of these bankers. I hope he's got bodyguards. They're going to declare war on him. All right. Side note: if you haven't seen this movie, it's a little movie. You can find it on BitChute, I think, or just go look it up on another search engine like DuckDuckGo or something. It's called Out of, and then the picture that you see there. I can't say it out loud. Don't post the link to it below because someone will see it. Sorry, we're in strong delusion here. Okay, way oversimplified. Let me tell you what I just told you. The news is not real. The movies and shows are all mind control. The entertainers are just that, and they are controlled as well. There is an evil system behind all of this, namely Satan, who wants to create a whole new world. The media has been entertaining this mind control machine for quite some time. If you haven't woken up yet and discovered the truth, then I am not sure you will. You are being fed the strong delusion through your screen because you love not the truth. You have been sent strong delusion that you will believe the lie. I know this stuff has come out in recent years, and it's hard to look at about what is actually going on in our entertainment and in our government and our leaders. They're getting arrested for certain things and implemented in certain things, and nobody wants to look at it because it's not pleasant. Like, oh my gosh, I don't think I should look at that. That's bad. Well, then you just turned your back on the truth because that is what is happening. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. You can see it happening. You're trying to get others to see the lies, the news, and you get that blank stare. Or better yet, you get belligerent name calling because you're trying to shake them out of their stupor and they don't want to see. It's really eerie to watch, and it can only be explained by being spiritually blind. I don't know how else you could explain it. Just like this right here. You have, this test came out that says now, the test cannot differentiate between the flu or the sickness. So then what were all those numbers that have been put up in our media over the last year and a half? Where did those numbers are all fake. Remember they came out and said that only 6% of the deaths were actually from that. They kind of slid that into the side there. Oh, by the way, all of those people didn't really die of that. They died of something else, but then we tested them and they actually had that show up, which, you can have, if you drink Coke, it'll show up as that as well too. Some teenagers figured that out, that you'll show up positive. So we had these videos of empty hospitals, tons of medical staff furloughed, and worst pandemic in the history of the world. Get the thing, put your face nappy on. Get the thing and you won't have to wear the face nappy. Oh, oops, you have to wear the face nappy anyway. Okay, then they said, this doesn't stop the transmission or acquiring the illness. Well, get it anyway. The face nappies do not stop the transmission and actually cause horrible lung infections because Dr. Sickle himself, Fauci, said in an article, he wrote a paper about that. He's the one that wrote the paper about them causing horrible illnesses. Wear it anyway. You scientifically cannot fix a virus with a needle. Oh, get it anyway. That's why the flu comes back every year. You can't fix that with a needle. It won't, because they mutate all the time. And they usually become weaker. They might become more transmissible, but they become weaker. Now they're saying this is stronger, it's more viral, more transmissible. Now you need a booster. What kind of science are we talking about here, right? And you see this cognitive dissonance. A fully vaccinated North Carolina couple who both contracted this are urging others to take precautions and get it if you haven't yet. Look, that doesn't make any sense to me. They were both vaccinated and both got it, but they're telling everybody else you should get it. Anyway, this is the inventor of the actual V test. He said that test was not made to detect any kind of infectious disease. It was there to pick up a signature of your DNA and your RNA. He suddenly died August 2019. And then this Mike, who's at Madisal, pretty absurd that I've left the house 6 times in 18 months and am fully vaccinated and can get this. I have friends not even vaccinated. They go out every day since this BS started. They never got it. Hello, okay? So how much news have you heard about science this past year and a half? The science goes. I mean, it's every day, but does the science comes back and contradicts what they said in the first place, but the majority of the public pays no attention. They've already believed the lie. They continue to consume this delusion daily. I found this verse in 1 Timothy 6:20 and 21. It says, "O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust, avoiding profane and vain babblings and opposition of science, so falsely called, which some professing have erred concerning the faith." False. Science falsely called. This is that about the when they updated their death report and said 6% of the deaths was the only cause mentioned. So, but didn't change anything in most people's mind. Okay, so we're going to go over this real quick. This is, if you've seen this, you know what this is. This is the, I don't know what I could call them. If I don't call them what they are, I could call them the freebies. Call them the freebies. These freebie guys have all of these levels in their, of hierarchy in their establishment, right? And it goes all the way up to 33, the big guy. Up here at the top, right under the 33s, I think you have to be a 33 to get that. You get to be a Shriner. You been to the Shriner circus? Those guys are all 33s. 33 freebies. That's what they are. And they run a lot of stuff, basically. Here's their pyramid hierarchy again. All right. And of course, that's one of their emblems. Has a 33 on it. This is just funny. This is a picture of some of these freebie guys with their little aprons on. What does that look like to you? Oh, it looks amazingly like the Gmail symbol, which, you know, case in point, their emblem of the square and compass has a G in the middle of it. I could not figure out what the G supposedly stands for. I don't know yet. I still don't know. And then I had to go look this up because the Android product store app and the Apple Store app, that their icons are both look just like that. There's the Facebook one, the Google one. That's the Divine King sign, the 666, the Eye of Providence, and the pyramid capstone, you know, which is on our dollar bill. Okay. I'm not going to read all this. You can pause it if you want to read all this. Basically, it's talking about these big families. Their names right there in green that we talked about earlier. They own all the banks. They control the money. They own the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve is not a federal institution. It is owned by these private bankers that have had charge of it. A percentage of every dollar goes into the Federal Reserve, their bank, right? And they have the banks all over the world. That's what the banking system is about. Just another map of some of their establishments. Again, you can look all this stuff up. I don't want to belabor the point and take all this time. This is from a book called The Daniel Prophecies by Ken Raggio. It has another pyramid here of all of the arms of this establishment that are underneath it. I mean, they're just tons. And you've heard of all of them, and they do not associate with each other. They don't they pretend like they all don't know each other, and oh, we're not, but they're all connected. And their motto is Ordo Ab Chao, I guess is how you say that. It's the saying of the world order out of chaos. It is the motto of the 33rd Scottish Rite freebies. Okay, of course, the average citizen has no clue. It's the ambitions of these powerful, secretive elites. You just think, well, they're just rich people. The jewel worn by the 33rd freebies, it has interlocking triangles representing the 3 6s, and is inscribed again with that order out of chaos. Remember, we talked about that triangle. They're going to create the problem, fund the hysteria, and then we have the solution. Here's the solution. These are just comments, quotes by some of our leaders. George Bush said, out of these troubled times, our fifth objection, a new world can emerge. We are now inside of the United Nations that performs as envisioned by its founders, as in the United Nations had a vision. What is it? This is Mr. Rocky Felty. Oh, he is scary. The present window of opportunity during which a truly peaceful and interdependent world order might be built will not be open for too long. We are on the verge of a global transformation. All we need is the right major crisis, and the nation will accept this. Can you think of any crises that we've got going on right now that could have been created? Okay. The new world that is in the making must focus on the creation of a world of democracy, peace, and prosperity for all. And that is all you hear: peace and safety, health and safety. The main obstacle to a stable and just world, the main obstacle to a stable and just world order is the U.S., said Mr. Sorosi, who doesn't even live here, and yet his money controls a ton of stuff. This is by our own president business here. In setting an American agenda for a new world, we must begin with a profound alteration in traditional thought. Strong delusion. They're sending you strong delusion. Mr. Nelson Searhead said, as president, I would work toward international creation of a new world. And Meyer Amschel, there seems to be little doubt that I can't say that name, continue to influence the world economy, and is known that they are squarely behind the movement to unite all the Western European nations into a single political entity, which is just another step towards one world government. That was a lot. So how does this 33 tie into scripture and the strong delusion? Are the elites really controlling the media? Nah, couldn't be. Just check this out. Is the number 33 a significant number in scripture? No, not really. But let's look a little closer. But 1/3 is. I've heard 1/3 of things in the Bible. And what is 1/3? It's the same as 1 divided by 3. Go back to your math lessons here, which is 0.33 or 33%. So we know about the great deceiver. His tail swept down 1/3 of the stars of heaven and cast them down to the earth. And this dragon stood before the woman who was about to give birth, so that when she bore her child, he might devour it. He is ready to devour it, him and his army of deceivers. The great dragon was thrown down, that ancient serpent who is called the devil and Satan, the deceiver of the whole world. He was thrown down to the earth, and his angels were thrown down with him. And it says the angels who did not stay within their own position of authority left their proper dwelling. So we know, we've heard that our whole life. Satan and 1/3 of his angels, Satan and 1/3 of his angels, they fell. And angels in scripture are symbolically referred to as stars, oftentimes. The 7 stars are the angels of the 7 churches. His tail swept a third of the stars of heaven and threw them to the earth. So where are these fallen angels now? I'm going to do a future video about where I think they are. When I get it uploaded, I'll add the description to this video below, but keep an eye out for it. Interestingly enough, I found that in the book of Enoch, you know, one of those books that you're not supposed to read, is Mount Hermon is the place where the watcher class of these fallen angels descended to the earth. Mount Hermon, the highest mountain in ancient Israel, the great landmark of the Israelites. It marks the border, the northern border of the Promised Land. It has 3 summits like the angles of a triangle. And in Judges 3:3 and Chronicles 5:23, it is called Baal Hermon because it was the center of all the Baal worship. Bible Hub says Hermon means to devote to religious uses, especially destruction. It is sitting on our Earth at 33 degrees latitude and longitude. And Hitchcock's Bible Names Dictionary defines Hermon as anathema, devoted to destruction. And that's supposedly where the third of the angels landed when they came here. We've heard some other 1/3 scriptures. 1/3 of you will die by plague or be consumed by famine among you. 1/3 I will scatter to every wind. In Revelation, it says 1/3 of mankind was killed by these 3 plagues. In Zechariah 13:8, it will come out in that day, declares the Lord, that 2 parts in it will be cut off and perish, and 1/3 will be left in it. And then he says in 13:9, and I will bring the 3rd part through the fire and refine them as silver is refined. If you haven't looked at how silver is refined, go look it up. And test them as gold is tested. They will call my name and I will answer them. So he's talking about I'm going to save 1/3 of these people. In the Old Testament, there was a time, I talked about this in the other video, when the good people were marked for safety. And he marked those people who were upset about the evil that was going on in the world. That's who he kept. In Revelation 8, we really go on this 3rd journey. These angels are sounding. There's following 1/3 a part of the trees was burnt up, 1/3 a part of the sea became blood, 1/3 a part of the creatures, 1/3 of the ships, 1/3 angel sounded, and 1/3 part of the rivers, and 1/3 part of the waters became wormwood. 1/3 part of the sun was smitten, 1/3 part of the moon, 1/3 part of the stars, 1/3 of them was darkened, and the day was short for 1/3 part of it. What does all that mean? How can we relate that to what's going on right now? Well, we can relate it to the 33. How would we know if 1/3 of the trees were burnt up? We wouldn't really. We do know that there has been extreme drought worldwide and apocalyptic wildfires. I cannot talk. Raging right now. Just read it. You can't talk. Just read it. The sea became blood. Does that mean literal blood, or is it speaking of our oceans dying and become polluted? We know they are dying. Would we know if 1/3 of the creatures died? Well, if you look up mass animal deaths over the last 8-10 years, you'll find lots of links. It's pretty crazy. Ships destroyed, waters becoming bitter wormwood. Is our water poison? Why do you buy bottled water? You don't like your water that comes out of your sink? Wormwood possibly refers to the Chernobyl nuclear accident, and I'll come back to that in a second. The sun darkened, it said, the moon darkened, the stars darkened, the sun did not shine for 1/3 of the day, and the moon did not shine for 1/3 of the night. Would we notice if the sun was 1/3 dimmer, or the moon or the stars? I guess. I mean, they keep saying that the world is heating up, except there's bitter cold and horrible winters every year. People speak of how time flies, or boy, that day went by fast. And scripture speaks of the days being shortened. So maybe it's here we go again. Maybe it's literal, maybe it's not. So are all of these already happening? I think so. They are happening as scripture foretold, and it's being labeled as a climate catastrophe by your screen so that you will fear and fall into obedience. Who knows someone who wants to block the sun out and has gotten permission to do it? I call them the gates of hell. That same gates, they want to depopulate the earth and are pushing the jabby thing. Oh, and they want you not to eat meat too. That's in scripture as well. Much of the destruction of our earth is caused by these global elites that only care about control and about power and wealth, and they will destroy the world to get it. And maybe much of that has already happened. Hence, it's not the case. It's not. The truth is, we don't really know anything except what our TVs and our phones tell us. And we have no way of verifying any of it, really, because the news is not news. Case in point, I'm going to give you on the following slides, and I'm glad you stuck with me this far. One more thing before we get to that. This was about the Chernobyl. This is an angel standing at Chernobyl, a trumpet pressed to his lips in a silent song. The sculpture is a poignant tribute to those who perished in one of the world's worst nuclear disasters. And you know, nuclear stuff does not stop. It just keeps poisoning and poisoning and poisoning. The English Bible translates this name as wormwood, or Artemisia. I can't say that. In local Ukrainian and Russian Bibles, the name of the star is Polyan, a word which is used interchangeably for numerous plants within the larger mugwort or Artemisia family. Chernobyl, the plant from which the town takes its name, is one of these. So, I put this on my Facebook page and just throw it in here that I thought this was so interesting that his name means destruction. I mean, sickle. It is derived from the Sicilian word for sickle and originated as an occupational surname referring metonymically to makers of sickle. Mr. Ouchie, his name means sickle. Go look up sickle in Revelation. All right, I pulled these from the internet July 29th through the 31st, just so you could see, and I'm going to go through them and just see if you see anything interesting or fishy. All right, on this one here, the second COVID wave reaches over 33 million units in April, June. The department had 33 personnel test positive for the coronavirus in the last week. Hey, everybody, 33 new infections were reported today. Let's see. Only 33% capacity will be allowed in the stadium. 33 patients need hospitalization. Plainview has 33 new cases. New COVID infections up 33% in Spain. This 33-year-old county man with underlying health conditions died from COVID. 33 new hospitalizations and 7 new deaths. Alberta reports 33 new cases. A total of 33 new COVID infections were detected in Luxembourg. Moderately ill, we have 33 in this Jamaica report. An entertainment outlet at the waterfront has been flouting the standard operating procedures despite the high numbers of COVID cases. 33 of them were compounded. Only 1 in 33 cases as of May 31st. 33 were asymptomatic in this report. A 33-year-old woman, fully vaccinated, died of COVID complications in a rare breakthrough case. Right. The health ministry reports 33 new deaths. 33 patients need hospitalization in this report. Well, the Joint Information Center is reporting 33 new positive cases. And 33% of these patients experience neurological or psychological fog and mental health issues. This is doctor's report. There are 33 testing clinics in Western Sydney open today. If anybody wants to know, there's 33 open. Okay. Alabama Republican Governor Kay Ivey called out the unvaccinated folks for the rise in the cases in her state, the least vaccinated in the country, with roughly 33.9% of residents fully vaccinated. The 2020 Games, which features 339 events in 33 different sports. I feel like I'm going to develop a list here. Both vaccines were only 33% effective against symptomatic disease. I can't read this. Pfizer, estimizia, que va castigar 33.5 militarde. I can't read that. Oh, there have been 33 new positive cases. In that instance, oh, we're going to reach over 33 million units of that thingy. Pfizer now sees 33.5 billion in sales. Lucky them. You're welcome to check my math, but until last week, the growth was about 33% per week. Oh, this place has a spike at 33 new infections. And coronavirus cases rise to 33 with 6 new infections in Bangladesh. 33 healthcare staffers of Delhi's Max Hospital test positive. I'm getting tired. There are 33 people with new positive test results in Douglas County, Oregon. 33 new positive test results on that station. Douglas County reports 33 cases. I don't know if I duplicated that or not. I've lost track. 33 is the number of new COVID cases reported in 4 counties yesterday. You can look that one up if you want to. Today's cases bring the total number of active cases to 33 with 1 hospitalized. Let's see here. Oh, we got a recent positive cases, 33. Lagos reported 33 cases in Oyo. Kosciuszko County vaccinated 33%. Good job. New cases in the LGU, 33. Up in here in Ontario, 33 in the York region. All the new cases, 33 over here were expat workers. Do you see anything interesting here? Bacolod City has 33 new cases. According to Sunday's report, 33 cases. I pulled these off of the internet in the last, some of these are later, but most of these are from the last couple of days, and this is the last month. Oman records 1,570 new coronavirus cases, 33 deaths. 33 new cases in Sangamon County. 33 may not seem like much, but as we all know, these Dorian Delta spreads like wildfire in the sun, people. Oh, 33 cases, no deaths in Vancouver. What is, oh, almost a third of illegal immigrants in custody have refused the opportunity to receive this jabby jab jab. Oh, it could kill up to 1 in 3 people, by the way. 1 in 3, which is the third. And 33 in this community while infectious. In the wake of Trump's loss now, this is really sad. It says 1 in 3 election officials feel unsafe because of their job. And in India, 2/3 of the population have the antibodies. 33 new cases in British Columbia, 33 people test positive in West GR Mount Nursing Home. Days after the 4th of July, Wisconsin has 33 new cases. I'm getting tired. Update, Maui has 33 cases. Britain has 33, their cases are down by 33%. 33 deaths in Malawi. 33 new cases in Timor-Leste. 33 positive cases in Solana County, California. 33 coronavirus cases in Cape Cod. 33 new cases. Yeah, 31 provinces in Yunnan. I guess I said that right. Cape Cod Nursing Home has 33 positive cases. Britain's COVID-19 cases are down by 33%. I'm sorry if I duplicated one of these. I was exhausted doing this. Last week's growth was about 33%, it says, in River Falls. Ladakh records 33 new cases. I cannot pronounce the name of that, but they have 33 new cases too. Interesting. Massachusetts reports 33 new cases. Michigan reports 33 deaths. More than 1,000 new cases reported in Kansas and 33 in Sedgwick County. You see what's happening here? Massachusetts, 33 cases. Oh, this is where Tennessee, Concord State Department of Health and Human Services, 33 new positive results. 33 new cases in Walla. 33 cases in Illinois, 33 cases in Larimer County, 32 cases in Douglas County, 33 new cases. I don't know where that is. Sunbury announces 33 confirmed, 33 in reports 33 new cases, youngest hospitalization to date, 33 new virus cases. St. Lucia, 33 cases. Hawaii's got 33 cases. Oh, the 33rd International Conference on Vaccines and Immunization was in 2020. And the 33rd Annual Congress on Immunology and Vaccinations is in the UK this year on 2021. Coronavirus in Massachusetts. Local transmission, 33. Remember this? The Gates said, and I quote, "The second wave will get their attention." They smiled like the psychopaths they are. And I'm back to that. You might want to check whose science you're following. Remember, 1 Timothy told us to watch out for science falsely called. Is it biblical-based science that we're looking at here on facts, or is this beast science? That false oppositions of science falsely called is opinion advanced by pitting one party against another. That's the biblical definition. And in 1 Timothy also we're told that in the latter times, some people are going to have their conscience seared with a hot iron. They're going to be under strong delusion, and they're going to want you to not eat meat. Interesting. It's not censorship, guys. It's strong delusion. Now, if you made it here and you are getting ready to comment below and ask if I have a link to back all this up, then you didn't watch. Go back to the beginning and start all over. If you're going to check your news feed on Facebook or Twitter and try to find evidence, then you missed the whole point. And speaking in riddles for a reason, do not comment below with the things I have avoided saying. I'll have to delete it, because we wrestle not against flesh and blood, and this is a spiritual war we are in. I am praying that Yah protects this video from googly eyes. I do not want to understand. Do not want people to understand the big picture. Just think about the fact of the science, that some science trained you to get your forehead scanned this past year. It was the media beast. You confirmed this and taught this to your child, that it was okay to have their forehead scanned. Did the entire biblical population forget that this one verse talks about a mark being put in people's foreheads? Or have they consumed the daily diet of strong delusion and just don't see the connection? You might want to check, again, the science you're following. And if you believe in the science of these spacey, nappy things, and you don't believe that life begins at conception, then you don't believe in science. You believe in a strong delusion. And for this cause, God shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe the lie. Oh, one thing I want to show you before I finish was this crazy news article thing happened last year during the first outbreak. So hang on a second. Okay, I think I have it here. This guy cracks me up.
You can pick out what's unusual about this.
Today, and I say as of today, at this hour, we have 33 confirmed positive tests
Okay.
for the virus.
33.
Yesterday we had 22 cases. Today we have 33 cases. So it's gone up by 11.
Interesting.
That brings those are 11 new cases. 22 goes to 33.
As we work through this here
Right.
in Arkansas.
Now in
Today,
Arkansas.
we have 33 confirmed
30.
positive cases.
You
in
do too?
Arkansas.
Huh.
As of today, we have
He cracks
32
me up.
confirmed cases with residents.
In Boston too. 33?
What's his name? Pat Gray
We
Unleashed.
have 33 Pennsylvanians who have tested positive for COVID-19.
That's weird.
So as of this morning,
Yeah.
there were 33 confirmed cases in North Carolina.
In North Carolina
You
too.
lots to get to tonight.
Wait, let me guess.
We want to start with
33.
information into our newsroom within the past couple of hours.
Okay.
There are now 33 confirmed
friend.
Joining us in the news at today's Summer to Jared,
It's not funny, but it is.
What? Pause for a second. Where's Karina? Where the hell is Karina?
Sorry.
Why did she have the night off?
I mean, this is
Have we looked into it?
right?
Is Karina one of the 33 people who all of a sudden magically it went from 22 yesterday? Now it's 33.
Oh no!
That's 11 new cases.
Where is Karina?
Is Karina the one spreading this to 33 people in every one of these
Oh, sorry.
cities?
Quarantining yourself.
The night off. 4 cases of the coronavirus were confirmed today in San Luis Obispo County, bringing the total number now to 33. Right now, Georgia is reporting a total of 99 cases in 19 counties. That is 33 new cases.
33
from
new.
just yesterday.
Afternoon, I'm Karen Swenson. More cases and more events. Here is the latest coronavirus news. There are now 33 cases in Louisiana.
33 cases in Louisiana.
The number of cases of COVID-19 jumped. A total of 33 people in our state have been tested and are confirmed to have the coronavirus.
But it's 33, huh?
Yeah.
6 new confirmed cases of the coronavirus to San Luis Obispo County, bringing the total number to 33.
33.
I have a guess.
25. 25 new cases.
First COVID-19 cases in our area by 33.
Oh,
I did not see that coming.
Okay. That was either 15 or 14. I kind of lost count when we went.
okay. So funny. Okay. So I'm going to go back and finish this up here. So you see, they're throwing those numbers in there not for you. They don't care if you see it. They're throwing those numbers in there as a like an initiation, like I'm in the club, like I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm following the beast, and the beast told me that I need to put these numbers in here to show my fealty to the leader, right? And and for this cause, because they didn't love the truth and want to find out the truth, God shall send them. Remember, that word means transmit strong delusion that they should believe the lie. My goodness. Okay, one last quote from this guy. The great enemy of truth is very often not the lie, deliberate, contrived, and dishonest, but the myth, persistent, persuasive, and unrealistic. Too often, we hold fast to the cliches of our forebears. We subject all facts to a prefabricated set of interpretations. We enjoy the comfort of opinion without the discomfort of thought. And that, man, that is, you know what happened to him. He was one of the only people that tried to buck the system. And that is exactly what is happening. People have this prefabricated set of what they believe, which, crazy enough, has been supplied by strong delusion, and then they cannot see anything else. All right. Oh, let me go back there one time. I hope this has been super, super, super eye-opening, and I hope that the creator of all things protects it from the googly eyes so that it doesn't get yanked. If it does, I'll put it on BitChute and Rumble as well, so that you can go find me over there. I'm also Berean Bible Journeys over there as well, and I'm going to put you back over here and show you that. These are the books I wrote. This is that, My Journey to the Holy Spirit, Finding the Feast, and A Sabbath Day's Journey. Those are all on Amazon as ebook or paperback. So go check those out. This is my shirt I created. I'd rather be verse mapping, and buddy, I would. I'd rather be doing verse mapping than anything. And go check out my channel and find out how to do that for yourself, because you're missing out if you haven't learned that. And I'll put the links below to this. There's my other channels that you can see: BitChute, Rumble. There, I am on Twitter. I don't do anything on there. I think those are both Twitter. I'm on Instagram as well. Berean Bible Journeys. You got to go with one of these shirts. all I see is people posting the Nebuchadnezzar statue and like, don't bow, don't bow, don't bow, people, hold steady, stay firm. And this is code. But if not, because the Hebrew children, remember, were told that they had to bow to this idol. They had to bow to the system. And they said, our God is able to deliver us. He is able. But if not, we still will not bow to your idol. So people, we've got to get that in our spirit. But if not, I'm going to put the links to these below. And that's a different design if you like that one better. And that is the end of my presentation. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you have an amazing day. And if you are in strong delusion, I hope this video causes you to come out of it, come out of her. Got another video about that. Thanks and have a great day. Bye.